Hello, fellow heisters. This is Cash the Great. I'm an up-and-coming streamer on Twitch, and decided to get a little bit more ambitious and basically attempt my first YouTube video. I've had a lot of requests for this build. Basically, it is a long-range special killer combat build for sniping. This is a sniper build. You know, you're not going to be getting like MVP of like bringing the most bags and deployables and all that other crap that all the other videos tell you to bring. You know, this is probably best used in teams where you've got your engineer, you got your combat medic, you've got basically with this role it would be the combat expert. You know, they're out there to kill the hard targets that everybody has trouble with and neutralize those threats way in advance before they ever start threatening the group. And that's the role of this type of a sniper build. I will tell you, it does require Infamy 5 level 100 to fully flesh this out. Um, like if I were to go into my Infamy tree here, these, up, down, left, and right, what these do is they make it so that when you go into your skills here, you only need 16 points to unlock these top tiers. You only have to spend 16 points in here. Because without those points of Infamy, Infamy 2 through 5, you actually have to spend 18 points in these lower tiers to unlock the top. And it doesn't seem like much. It's only a 2-point difference in requirement. But basically, that adds up after a while because you have to take extra talents just to get to the top. So, and we can talk a little more about Infamy in another video, but just letting you know that this will require Infamy 5 preferably. So, basically, we're going to just start with the loadout here. My weapon of choice is the Grom sniper rifle. It's very, very impressive, and I've got an advanced weapon stats mod here to kind of help illustrate it a little bit better. Don't let this base damage fool you, because we're actually going to be using this in a extremely high damage crit build where this damage is going to be multiplied out several times. Basically, you got a magazine of 10. That's going to let you thin out the herd pretty good. You got 10 shots to really make it count. Where this really shines is the ammo pickup. The higher this total ammo number, the more ammo pickup you're going to get. Usually you're going to get between 2 and 4 rounds on every ammo box. That's huge. That really gives you more sustainability as a sniper. The rate of fire helps because now you're, instead of the higher damage tier ones that are up in that 400 or 500 damage range, those ones can only fire off a round at best once per second. So it says that'd be like a rate of fire of 60. Here you're more than double that. So you can really, this gun will go as fast as you need it to go when you're talking about single target semi-auto fire. Where this really shines though is the tactical reload here. So if I can briefly explain it, in the game there are 2 reload speeds for most guns. If you have at least 1 bullet left in the magazine, you're going to reload quicker. You're going to reload in 2 seconds instead of if you empty the entire clip for this gun, it's 2.87. But even at 2.87, that is faster than the other snipers. Look at the Thanatos. This is the one that everybody likes to say, oh yeah, this one's the greatest in the video. Look at that reload. You're just getting crushed. You've got 5 seconds to make your shots. Excuse me, and you're basically you gotta spend all that time reloading. If you guys have done Death Wish and higher, it is hard. You've gotta really stay in the game, and those reloads, the faster reload you've got more shots of opportunity that you can take. You got to spend less time reloading and more time firing. So that really helps, and it can save you too. When they're up in your face, you get that quick reload going. Really helps. With aggressive reload aced, it cuts this in half. So if I get a headshot kill, it's gonna be a 1 second reload as long as I've got enough bullets, or at least one bullet left in the clip. So that's really, really nice. The other place where it shines against these other sniper rifles is the vertical recoil. It's not going to be jostling around as much when you fire it. So if you've got to line up multiple headshots for your ammo efficiency skill, you can do it. You can do it. There's less time it takes for that image to stabilize and for you to fire your next shot. You know, some of these other ones, you know, the Desert Fox is not too bad. Vertical recoil is a little worse on that, but like if you get into something like, you know, like the Nagant, now we're up 10 on the upper limit, and these other ones not so great. Okay, with the Grom here, what we're going to use, well, put a sexy skin on it if you can. We're going to use the Grievky Compensator. We're going to throw on an accuracy boost. We're going to do the lightweight foregrip. And then on the gadget, we're just going to add this for some stability. We're going to do the LED combo there. And then on the sight, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like these big scopes. These are really good, though, for long range. Really, really good. This is like the most intense magnification in the game. Box Buddy's also good. I would say these two are equal. If you're doing long range sniping, go with these. If you want to do like more, you know, closer range stuff, you know, it doesn't really matter. Then you go iron sight or some of the other, you know, more standard traditional sights. And then we're going to skip the lightweight stock. We're not going to get that. The companion weapon is the Mark 10 SMG. I really can't say enough about this gun. Amazing, amazing reload speed. Look at that tactical reload there. 0.87 seconds. This thing flies. It's one of and the ways you get it that low is that basically it's the only, maybe the only, or one of the only SMGs that actually get speed pulls. It's amazing. But even if you had to do a full reload, even if you empty that entire clip, that's still 1.17 seconds. Insanely fast. It's a lightning fast reload. When a lot of the guns in the game are more than 2.5 second reload, or 3 or 4 even. So, very, very nice there. That's going to be extremely helpful and keep you alive in those close pitch battles. You go brrr, and then reload immediately and just fire off another clip. It does do, the way I've got it modded, it does do more damage than a lot of other SMGs. Usually you're kind of in that 30, 40, 45 damage range. Here you're up at 63, very high rate of fire, 1,000, and very large magazine you can throw on this thing is 63. The ammo pickups, stellar, pretty good actually. I shouldn't say stellar, but it's above average. Usually 150 ish, kind of in there. That's middle of the road. This is a little bit better than that. But yeah, that magazine's really nice. What else can I say about it? It's amazing. Very highly concealable. Awesome in close combat. So, in general, if you're running a sniper rifle, SMGs are amazing companion weapons, because when you think about it, they complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. It's like the yin and the yangs. Here you've got high damage, small magazine, low rate of fire with armor penetration. Here it's the opposite. You don't have AP, but you got very high rate of fire, lower damage, but high rate of fire. So they cover each other. You know, you use this for long range, use this for shorter ranges. The other thing is that they've got a lot of synergy because, and when we get into the skills in a moment here, you'll see that a lot of them affect snipers and SMGs. So you get that double dip, which is nice. We want to get high concealment with this build because that's going to play into crits. Same here, you know, with the melee weapon, the ice pick hits just as hard as the katana, but the thing about the ice pick is this unequipped delay. If you want to just get that one quick strike off and then get right back to shooting, you got a very fast 0.6 of a second to get back to shooting. That's really nice. If you're doing multiple strikes, you know, like I said, katana does the same amount of damage, but Katana's better at doing a bunch of quick slashes over and over. If you like the, tearing it up with a melee build. But this is good if you just want that one strike and go right back to shooting. Its unequip is a little faster. But the big reason to get this ice pick is the damage and the conceal. You got maxed out concealment, and you still get 450 damage. Amazing. Throwable, it's kind of personal. It's up to you. I'll use the incendiaries just because I want them to stop shooting at me. And fire is probably one of the best stuns in the game. And you carry 6 of these, whereas the frag grenades you get like 3. So that's another thing. So this is basically an armor gating build. I'll mention, with Anarchist, it slashes that base health in half and then multiplies it out by 120%. So if you took this times 1.2 plus that, and then you've got your, your Iron Man base suite, you still have in a suit 205 armor, which is awesome. You can tweak this build a little bit to get more than that. If you wanted to do lightweight ballistic vest or something, you may have to shuffle some skills around. But anyway, try this build as is first, though. I highly recommend it. With Anarchist, one of the hallmarks is armor gating, and so let me explain that briefly. So, because it's such a critical thing with armor builds at high difficulty. Very, very valuable. So if you go into Anarchist, you'll notice that let's see, it's in that first paragraph there. Heavier armor regenerates more armor, and what it should say is per tick. You get more armor back per tick, but the ticks don't happen as often, the regens. So like you'll notice with Anarchist, you get a ton of armor with ICTV, the Improved Combined Tactical Vest or whatever. You can get 400 armor, and you'll get like a quarter of that armor back every regen. It's like 100 armor every time, roughly. But there's a lot of seconds in between there where you're just getting shot at and you're not getting any regen. If you do lightweight ballistic vest or suit, you're not going to get very much armor back per tick, but you get those ticks of regen of armor very often. And that's what plays into armor gating, because with the mechanics in the game, if you get hit, as long as you have even a shred of armor, you will not take health damage. Let me give you an example. If you had like 5 armor left, and you took a hit for like 225 damage from, on one down from some DMR cop, one of the heavy SWATs, you would take your 5 damage, you would lose your armor, but the other 220 damage from that attack would just get negated. As long as you have any armor up, you will not take health damage. And so it wouldn't be until the next hit that you would take health damage if your armor is totally depleted. Well, here's the thing, though. If you wear light armor, with Anarchist, you're getting those ticks of regen all the time. It's like every 2 or 3 seconds. So chances are, if you get hit and you take some cover, you're probably going to have another little tick of armor up. If you get hit again, it's still not going to take health damage. The exception to this rule would be like if you get hit by a sniper, because that ignores armor. You lose all your armor and then some of your health. But yeah, basically this build, Anarchist, is really the bread and butter of a lot of loud builds. I'm not going to say it's the one true path. I never say that. But it is definitely one of the builds at the forefront here with Anarchist. So, and then this is nice too. Dealing any damage back, you get 10 armor. That's really nice. Any damage at all, you get 10 armor back. And it's on a quick 1.5 second clock. So every 1.5 seconds. So like if you deal damage, so basically, 2 strikes within a 3-second window, you're getting 20 armor back in total. So that's very nice, very nice. This build, I will tell you, is for aggressive players. So if you like to hang back and you don't deal a lot of damage, this build might not really be for you. This is for people that love to play snipers aggressively. It's a very nimble build. So let's just get into the meat of it here. With the skills now, And this two-piece suit, by the way, that was the other thing I'm bringing, and Doctor Bag preferably. So, um, in the build here, you know, and I will probably make a separate video on this. I could talk for quite a while on Grays and how I'm against it, but basically, I think Grays is bullshit. You know, any experienced player will, probably side with me on that. It's stupid. You're giving people credit for kills that they're not making, basically. And I understand why it came into existence. Overkill has, this long-standing thing of like, let's just kind of do a half-ass fix on something when, you know, in reality, maybe we should overhaul it. But this was kind of a band-aid fix because they were finding that a lot of snipers, with especially the ones with the small mags of only 5 and 6 rounds, were having a lot of trouble keeping up with those longer reloads. Keeping up with the horde aspect of the game, how you're just getting these massive waves of cops. And all these other full auto weapons, semi-auto weapons were doing a lot better with higher rates of fire. So this was, you pick a target in the back, and this is going to kill a bunch of targets along the path of that bullet. Essentially makes, your bullet, 2 meters or whatever in diameter. It's stupid. I don't like it. I'm a precision sniper, but we can argue about that later, but that's my philosophy with sniping. You should be a marksman. You should be really skilled and skill shot everything. So getting into the build here with aggressive reload, this is absolutely a must for sniper builds. Get that headshot kill. Essentially, your reload is twice as fast. And then basic, obviously, you got 15% buff on the speed of your reload. But this is the big deal here. Increase by 100%. That's basically twice as fast on your next reload there within 4 seconds. Ammo efficiency. All you have to know about this is get 2 headshots within a 6-second window. So if I, get a headshot, I've got 6 seconds to score the second headshot if I have this aced. This results in a 2-to-1 ratio. So basically, I'll give you an example. If I were to get 10 headshots in a row, just kind of back to back, and I was meeting the 6-second window, 10 headshots would only actually use up 5 bullets due to the refund effect of this skill. That's really nice. And additionally, if you were to get a double headshot kill, let's say you're really pro at lining up your shots, if I get a double headshot, that shot's basically free because I get a refund back. So try to line up your shots. It's really nice. Rifleman, I ace this out. I know some people do skip over this, but I ace this out because I want maximum zoom in the game, especially with the Theia Magnified scope. I can engage targets out. A long shot to most people in this game is about 40 meters. I can engage them at 60, 80, 100, 120 meters. I think my longest kill shot was about 185 meters out, so it's amazing. And then just the snap to zoom. You can switch from hip fire to aiming very quickly. Marksman, I just went basic into this just to pick up a little bit of an accuracy boost to get up to 100 on the Grom. Whoops. And then down here, I've got 8, picked up 8 stability there. In Enforcer, I picked up Underdog. I've got for the 15% damage there. This is almost always up. If you run a HUD, you'll notice this. This is almost always up. So one of the best single point skills in the game. 15% damage. There you go. We're going to ace this out to help with the flashbang duration. This is pretty much critical for any loud build. Jumping up to the 3rd tier here, obviously with a sniper build, we're going to get a lot of headshots. So we want to take advantage of that and get 25 armor back for every headshot we make. It is throttled a little bit because it does say the effect can only happen every 2 seconds, but that's okay. Now, if you want to do a little bit of armor gating, you remember what I said, you get that shred of armor, you can't take health damage. Even in health builds like Muscle and Grinder, this can be useful if you just pick up basic. But I would say any armor build, anything with like 100 armor or more roughly, I would definitely ace this one out. Um, and then Shock and Awe, I just picked up basic. Even though this is negated, that armor recovery rate is negated by the Anarchist deck, you still have to spend 3 points to get up to here. So this is just kind of a stepping stone skill. And then I obviously basic Iron Man for the 30% to armor. Now over here, I picked up Ace Steady Grip to just pick up some stats for accuracy, stability. Um, Basic Surefire is just to add the 15 more bullets to the mag on my Mark 10 SMG. And then Lock and Load just so I can hit fire while sprinting. I want a very nimble build. I want to be able to keep firing away, keep running, reloading. I'm always on the go as a sniper. I have a different approach to sniping. There are a lot of snipers that want to hang way back and just hang back at their perch. That's not me. I like to always shift my position so they don't really know where I'm at. So going into Ghost, this is where a lot of the damage comes into play. These are more quality of life here. Parkour Ace, this is another almost essential loud skill in any loud build. Being able to run and reload is very important. This is a stepping stone to get to it. This helps you run faster. Here, basic inner pockets. We want to get our concealment up for the crits, which leads me perfectly into this. So, just to save you the trouble on the math, if you get basic low blow, because the idea is you want to get your 30% crit. That's what it tops out at for low blow. If you go basic low blow, your build must get down to 5 detection or less. If you ace it, then you just need to be at 25 detection or less. Now 5 is pretty hard. Usually that's only akimbo builds where you're just bringing in 3 pistols, very hard to get to 5, but there are ways to do it. Here we just need to be 25 or less. With the Grom and the SMG, the Grom's still kind of, both are fairly concealable weapons, but I ended up having to ace this one out. Unseen Strike stacks on that crit. Anytime anyone talks about a crit build, they are talking about specifically these 2 skills. Unseen Strike, the way this works is, let's say I get hit. That starts the timer. It starts a 4-second timer, and if I don't get hit again for another 4 seconds, I'm gonna gain 35% crit on top of the 30. So it'll jump up to 65% crit, and because I have this aced out, I get that 65% crit for 18 seconds. That, my friends, is a lot of killing shots, especially against the really high damage dozers that have insane amounts of hit points. Anybody who's gone up against, minigun dozers know you need every ounce of damage you can possibly get, because they're at 24,000 hit points in Death Wish, so it sucks. You need that damage. High value target here, this is another essential one for snipers. Just being able to hold down, your aim button and light up all the specials works really good in fog, and in low visibility is really nice. But the main reason to get it is that 65% damage at any target that's more than 10 meters away. But I know I'm kind of stream of consciousness here. I'm trying to stay on top. Crits, super important, and I don't feel like the descriptions properly explain it. When you get a crit, it depends on the crit multiplier for that mob. Most mobs are triple. They're usually a 3 times multiplier times your weapon damage. So if just for simple math, if the Grom is at, about 150, it's going to hit for like 450. And then if it's like a headshot crit, usually that is equal to the crit multiplier as well, so it'd be like 3 times 3. So now you're doing 9 times weapon damage if it's a headshot and it crits. With dozers, it's higher. It's like a 5 times multiplier on a crit. They may have even upped it to 7.5, but just for the explanation's sake, you know, if let's say it's 5, um, if you crit a dozer, you know, you do 5 times weapon damage. If it's a headshot and it crits, now you're at 25, 5 times 5, weapon damage. So 25 times 150 is a pretty big number, especially when you're talking about scaling at 65%. So you got times 1.65 times another 1.15 for the 15% on underdog. That's huge. And then that brings me to the next one here, even more damage. So we're talking insane amounts of damage from Berserker here in Frenzy. But before I get ahead of myself here, so this is the stepping stone skill. We're just getting basic martial arts. We're going to get aced out Bloodthirst for that sexy melee damage with the ice pick. Every kill you get is going to multiply out the melee damage. So if I get, you know, like 5 kills, you know, with my guns, you know, I'm going to do, and my brain's not working right now, but either 5 or 6 times melee damage. I can stack this up to 16 times. So if I kill, you know, 16 guys with my guns, my next melee weapon damage it's gonna do like 16 times damage. So it's huge. This ups it even more though with basic Berserker, and then acing it out. Now my health is actually going to affect my range damage. And the way the formula works on the Ace Berserker is that, and I feel like a lot of videos never explain this, is that it takes the difference between your health and times it by 2. So I'll give you an example. With Frenzy, my health is at 30%. The difference between 30% and 50% is 20, right? So it's going to be double that. So I would have a 40% damage boost to range. I'll give you another example. Let's say I'm at only 10% health. Well, that's a 40% difference between 10% and 50%. Times that difference by 2, I've got 80% more range damage. That's phenomenal. And it doesn't go away unless your health changes. So truly, with a Berserker Frenzy build, anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You want your health to be as low as possible. So those idiots that keep telling you to heal up, just be like, bro, my build doesn't work that way. I want a shred of health. Doesn't matter anyway, because this is an armor build. You know, you're sitting here with 205 armor. So essentially that's the build. If I glossed over anything, or if you have any questions, you know, definitely leave it in the comments section. I will put a link to this build as well for pd2tools.com. That's like a talent calculator, skill calculator for Payday, which is really nice. And stay tuned. The next part of this video will feature some gameplay here, okay? All right.